मैं उनको पहले ही उनको वार्न कर देता हूँ कि आई टेल देम अबाउट द रेड फ्लैग्स. सी मोस्ट कास्टिंग एसोसिएट्स और कास्टिंग असिस्टेंट्स आर एस्पायरिंग एक्टर्स.
जी जी बिल्कुल.
ठीक है, सारे मतलब 97% आई वुड से.
जी.
तो वो आपसे वो एक्टिंग करवाते हैं जो, अब एक तो उनकी पोजीशन है क्योंकि वो कास्टिंग डायरेक्टर की टीम में है, तो वो खुद एस्पायरिंग एक्टर होता है, वो खुद आपका पत्ता काटना चाहते हैं. आज हम ऐसे देश में रहते हैं जहाँ पे 20 रुपए के मग को भी चेन से बांध के रखना पड़ता है. फाइन्स आपने लगा दी हैं, इतने सालों से फाइन है कि आप हेलमेट पहन के चलिए, आप थूकिए मत,
बिल्कुल,
आप ये मत करिए वो मत करिए, लेकिन आप करते हैं. गिल्ट वुड रियली ड्राउन मी. आप बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक, आई ट्रेसपास्ड द वुमेन्स वॉशरूम. 10th पास करके निकल रहे थे तो आई वाज लाइक कि यार एक जगह नहीं देखी हमने गर्ल्स वॉशरूम. I trespassed it. I thoroughly and rightfully so got reprimanded for it. Yeah, there was a student I really had huge crush on, and I thought कि ठीक है यार, I mean जाके एक कार्ड दे देते हैं, and that's that pubescent age wherein you're breaking off your eggshells and you're like wanting to explore world or you see things in a different light. Thoroughly rejected. Gave her the card and she took the card and she just threw it right there in front of me. It's a perception driven industry and I am horrible at creating a perception. Unsolicited advice तो बहुत मिलती है.
Parenthood पे मिल रही है unsolicited?
बहुत. But the kind of books Sheetal and I are reading lately and she also really enjoys reading is, उसमें सबसे पहले यही है कि unsolicited advice तो आपको मिलेगी ही मिलेगी. Which is good, which is great, that's a part of our culture also, कि पड़ोस की आंटी भी आएंगी, वो लड्डू लेके आएंगी और वो बोलेंगी कि बेटा यार ये है वो है, बताते सब हैं, also because they care.
Sure.
But by the end of it, I'm a very firm believer in science.
Hello everyone, I'm Rajani and welcome to Zoom Speak Easy. My guest today is so talented. You can give him pretty much anything and he is going to be amazing at it. I'm pretty sure that you know who he is, of course, the very talented Vikrant Massey. Welcome to the show, Vikrant.
Hi, Rudrani. Thank you for the kind words.
Well, it's true.
Thank
it's
you.
true.
Thank you.
You've already
really
proved yourself.
You.
यही एक रीति रिवाज होती है इस इंडस्ट्री की कि जो चल रही है उसी को करते जाए. तोड़ा कैसे उसको?
तोड़ पाया हूँ या नहीं वो मुझे पता नहीं, बस कोशिश रहती है.
तोड़ पाया आप?
I hope that's true. As I said, I hope. Thank you. And but I think that's the nature of every job. I think अगर आप स्पोर्ट्स में भी अगर आप हो और अगर आप एक गेम खेल जाते हैं तो everyone expects you to just continuously like a machine come out and perform the same way. And अगर हम सिनेमा की बात करें, it is easy to box people also because of the success ratio. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants to do well monetarily as well, in terms of popularity as well. But there has been from my end a very concerted effort to time and again break out of that mode. Because I think there is so much to say. There are so many different kinds of stories.
जी बिल्कुल.
और अगर हम सिर्फ लोकल रूटेड इंडियन कहानियों की बात करें, हमारा देश इतना विशाल है, इतने अलग अलग कल्चर्स हैं, इतने ट्रेडिशंस हैं, इतनी हिस्ट्री है, इतनी मिथोलॉजी है. You really, as an actor, you aspire to go out there and try tell all sorts of stories, and at the same time showcase what you can do as an actor. I'm glad that the audiences have been very kind so far, and I hope they continue to be kind, and I get to play these parts that I play. So fingers crossed.
आप ऐसी फिल्में करते हैं जहाँ पे the characters or the world, not the character, slightly more, as they call it, masculine in the very stereotypical way. Of course उसमें shades होती है. Then you break down and then you do a character that you did in one of our most loved series, Made in Heaven. एक मर्द की परिभाषा इस country में बहुत ही typical है, पर आपको वो डर नहीं है. Because you're of course a progressive man, but beyond that you're also a very loyal actor. मुझे लगता है पर इस country में ये भी करना बहुत मुश्किल है. Because you see those toxic comments and you see how they try to do you. Because the kind of love you will get from a Mirzapur fan is very different that you get from others, right? I think it doesn't bother you, but I'm sure sometimes it does.
Actually, it does not. And actually it also does sometimes. So it's a mix of both. Surprisingly, and it's a great sign. हालांकि मैं बहुत ज़्यादा social media पे active नहीं रहता हूँ.
जी.
Because initially I realized when I like early 2010-11 when I joined social media, like most of us, I was really fascinated by the capability of social media and the digital world. But I did sort of slowly wane away because of the toxicity. But I think a lot has changed in the last 2-3 years as well. And why I say this is because the analogy you gave of a Bablu Pandit and my character from Made in Heaven, I think both of them, they're so diverse, but they are equally loved.
Absolutely.
They are equally loved. It was a cameo in Made in Heaven. It started off as a cameo and it still remains one. But I'm so proud of it. In fact, the best compliment for my work, which I have ever got from my family, was for Made in Heaven.
I'm not surprised.
My mother called me and she told me, I am so proud of you.
जी.
और रही बात मर्दानगी की परिभाषा की,
जी.
तो I think that's world over. We've lately also seen what's been happening in the West.
जी.
तो unfortunate है, but I think it's a fight that all of us are slowly and steadily walking towards the right direction. Overall, society में भी कहीं, but फिर वही बात है कि it's a very urban thing. It's a very urban concept. The moment you move 100 kilometers away from Bombay, Delhi, or these metropolises, you realize that okay, certain things are still stuck in time. But कोशिश यही रहती है कि barriers तोड़ें, notions तोड़ें,
थोड़ी सोच को
बदलने की कोशिश
करें,
खुद भी करें और दूसरों को भी अपने कला के जरिए इंस्पायर करने की कोशिश करें. Because I think it is the need of the hour.
आपने कहा कला के जरिए सोच को बदलने की कोशिश करें, तो कैसे ना हम बात करें इस फिल्म की. ये भी एक कोशिश है उस डायरेक्शन में. ऑफ कोर्स आप एक आईपीएस ऑफिसर की ज़िंदगी के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, किस तरह से वो वहाँ पहुँचे, उसकी कहानी है. पर ये वो भी कहानी है जो बहुत सारे सैकड़ों स्टूडेंट्स स्ट्रगल करते हैं वो एक यूपीएससी का एग्ज़ाम पास करने के लिए. करेक्ट. और उसके पीछे क्या होता है. व्हाट डिड यू लर्न आउट कमिंग आउट ऑफ इट. बिकॉज दैट विल बी इंटरेस्टिंग. हम सुनते हैं इसके बारे में, न्यूज़ में देखते हैं कि इतने सारे बच्चे ने एग्ज़ाम दी, ये दी वो दी, और किस तरह से इट लीड्स टू सो मच.
एंड दिस वर्ल्ड is so overbearing. मुझे स्टूडेंट लाइफ से जुड़े हुए काफ़ी ज़माना हो गया. I passed out in 2007-8 and a lot has changed since then. But अगर हम सिर्फ यूपीएससी की दुनिया की बात करें या जो भी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की जितनी भी एग्ज़ाम्स होते हैं, अगर हम उनकी बात करें, it's so overbearing. अगर and we live in the age of data, अगर हम सिर्फ डेटा की बात करें, so I mean, I don't even know where to begin. The amount of pressure these students go through, and there are millions of hopes, aspirations attached to it, to just crack that one exam. And one of the reasons why I personally could so deeply relate with the character that I play in 12th Fail is also because I have been through that myself. It may not be through a UPSC exam or a NEET exam or a JEE exam, but in life in general.
But even in industry you've struggled, right? Like it's not that you
haven't. I think everyone does. Everyone has their fair share of struggle, especially when you begin. But the idea is to restart. The idea is to persist. And अगर हम सिर्फ UPSC students की बात करें और अगर हम दिल्ली मुखर्जी नगर की अगर बात करें, it is an entirely different ecosystem altogether. You will be shocked to hear that there are students who end up spending 8 years, 10 years इसी उम्मीद में कि वो एक सरकारी नौकरी उनको मिल जाएगी या वो समाज के लिए कुछ कर पाएंगे, IAS, IPS बन के या IFS बन के, IRS बन के. And the amount of dedication and persistence that is required. And I think persistence is something that comes very naturally to me. I think I have persisted for the last 20 years. And these are universal stories. These are, hope is a universal concept. I think one of the reasons why people will probably really relate with 12th fail is because it is so universal in nature. ये लाखों करोड़ों लोगों की कहानी है ये सिर्फ एक लड़के की कहानी नहीं है जो IPS ऑफिसर बनना चाहता है. ये हर उस इंसान की कहानी है जो जीवन में अपने लिए और अपने परिवार के लिए, अपने समाज के लिए, अपने लिमिटेड टाइम जो आपको धरती पे मिला है उसमें कुछ करना चाहता हो. ये हर उस इंसान की कहानी है. एंड this is I know a lot of actors say this and I've also said this before, but and maybe I hope I get this opportunity to say it again आगे चल के. You know, this is the most special film of my life.
जी.
इस कहानी में आपको मैं दिखूंगा, इस कहानी में आपको मनोज कुमार शर्मा भी दिखेंगे, इस कहानी में आपको विधुनोद चोपड़ा भी दिखेंगे. इस कहानी में आपको वो एक लाइटमैन भी दिखेगा जो अपना गांव छोड़ के 20 साल पहले आया था और आज सिनेमा में काम कर रहा है.
जी.
आपको वो सारे लोग दिखेंगे. एंड आई थिंक करेज, ह्यूमिलिटी, एस्पिरेशन एंड द विल पावर टू फाइट इज व्हाट मेक्स अस व्हाट वी आर. You know, we are still a very young country. अगर हम इतिहास के तौर से अगर देखें, we are just about 75 years into independence. And we've done remarkably well. Like every family, yes, we have our own share of ups and downs, but I think collectively as one unit, I think we've done remarkably well.
बहुत बेहतरीन तरीके से आपने ये जोड़ दिया है ना, this relatability. आपने ये कहा तो मुझे ये कहना है एक, because आपने विधुनोद चोपड़ा के बारे में मेंशन किया, ऑफ कोर्स यू नो दिस इज दैट पार्ट ऑफ दैट वर्ल्ड. 3 Idiots में देयर वाज दैट स्टूडेंट ट्रैक जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स की एक लाचारी, एक जो ये परिश्रम होता है टू विन इन लाइफ एंड यू हैव टू, द काइंड ऑफ प्रेशर पेरेंट्स पुट ऑन यू, वो जो एक पूरा ट्रैक था जहाँ पे ऑफ कोर्स यू नो दे टॉक अबाउट स्टूडेंट सुसाइड, किस तरह से यू नो द डार्क वर्ल्ड एंड हाउ द मेंटल हेल्थ टेक्स फॉर अ टोल. मुझे लगता है कि कभी ना कहीं मुझे लगा था कि दिस वर्ल्ड विल बी एक्सप्लोर्ड इन सम वे एंड हियर इट इज, राइट. आई एम श्योर वो हिस्सा भी होगा यहाँ पे भी. आई ऑल्सो वांट टू नो, आपने ये कहा कि आप भी गुजर चुके हैं. डिसअपॉइंटमेंट इज नॉट समथिंग वी आर फर्स्ट यू नो डीलिंग विद इन अ वेरी नाइस वे. हैव यू बीन थ्रू डार्क फेजेस इन योर लाइफ वेयर यू थॉट यू नो व्हाट, I want to give up, I don't want to do this anymore, or it's taken a toll on you and then you've pulled yourself out into that, and I think वो एक inspirational कहानी सबके लिए होगी.
I think it happens with everyone.
Sure.
ये सबके साथ होता है. You know, there are days जब हर इंसान, वो एक सुबह कभी ना कभी आती है जब आप उठते हैं and you're not feeling up to the mark. You feel like giving up. You feel like यारे जैसी जिंदगी मैं चाहता था या चाहती थी वैसी जिंदगी shape up नहीं हो रही है.
जी.
But then you pull yourself up, you know, you chin up, chest out, and you go out there and you fight for your dreams again. And जैसे आपने 3 Idiots की बात कही, जैसे आपने 12th fail की भी बात की.
जी.
3 Idiots was I think it was a genre defining film. It was a generation defining film as well.
बिल्कुल.
और कहीं ना कहीं उस फिल्म के जरिए हमने सक्सेस की परिभाषा समझी. द डेफिनेशन ऑफ सक्सेस टुडे हैज चेंज्ड.
बिल्कुल.
एंड उम्मीद है कि लोग इस फिल्म के ज़रिए भी कहीं ना कहीं उस चीज़ को समझें कि सिर्फ एक पद पे पहुंचना या एक पर एनम सैलरी होना या अच्छा घर होना सक्सेस नहीं होता. शुरुआत अंदर से होती है. विचार बदलने पहले ज़रूरी है. तभी हम कहीं ना कहीं अपने आप को, शुरुआत से अपने परिवार को, फिर अपने पड़ोसियों से मिलके फिर एक समाज को हम बदल सकते हैं. It all begins within you.
जी.
And and as you also said it, you know, results, competitive nature, you know, success, a lot of it has changed in the last few years. और सिनेमा के माध्यम से कहीं ना कहीं बहुत बड़ा प्रभाव भी पड़ा है. Art, yes, has always been there. Literature has always been there. So has cinema. And I've always said, you know, any form of art has always been reflective of the world that we live in, the times that we live in. And I'm glad, I'm happy that, you know, there are people today who are talking about mental health. I am very happy to know that there are people who are out there who are also talking about women's rights.
Yeah.
There are people out there who are also talking about the definition of success. What is success?
जी.
And it's an ever evolving concept, you know.
You know, आपने X ट्विटर कि जो टॉक्सिसिटी की बात की, मुझे लगता है आप भी बहुत खुल के पहले बात करते थे और मैंने वो नोटिस किया है क्योंकि आप उनमें से हो, उनमें से अभी भी है, मैं थे नहीं बोलूँगी, जो कोशिश करता है कभी भी किसी भी माहौल में वो अपना जो एक ओपिनियन है वो रखे, कि आपको पता है कि उसका एक मूल्य होता है. It, you know, like he rightly said, the kind of films he does is reflective of who he is. Sometimes, like you think about films like Chapak or other films, which we've always spoken that it had its own beautiful message. But when they get dropped, you know, when films like this get trapped in any kind of toxicity, it adversely affects the film. मुझे लगता है क्या वो एक एक्टर का क्या आज वो डर है, डर से भी ज़्यादा क्या वो एक एंग्जाइटी है इसको लेके कि यार मतलब हम फिल्मों के ज़रिए कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, but don't let us get caught in this trap of whether it's political or whether it's toxic or anything.
Yeah, I think I am disappointed, and I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't speak about it, but I definitely am disappointed because when, you know, digitization happened, the advent of digital world came about, you know, I personally saw it as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to sort of expand my worldview.
Yeah.
Which it does. I mean, it is informative, it is academic, institutional in nature, you know, you can at the click of a button today learn so many things. But then, like most things, you know, everything does get exploited. The social media platforms were also exploited. And I also later realized, which I initially thought that, you know, these are platforms where you can have meaningful discussions.
बिल्कुल.
And it started off that way. But once I realized these are not platforms where you can actually present your point of view, you really cannot have a healthy discussion because I mean, there are different kind of people with different backgrounds, different worldviews. But the moment it tips over towards personal attacks, the moment it tips towards toxicity, or, you know, we even know of the cancel culture that is so prevalent today. I want to refrain from being a part of that. I'm a storyteller. My idea is to come out there, you know, time and again, not necessarily all the time speak through my stories, sometimes be the voice of a completely different person, but the idea is to go out there and try being the voice of the voiceless. And I think I have found peace in that, because people have been really, really kind, honestly. You know, I don't come from a film family, you know, I've done nearly a decade of television, a decade of films today, but people are still out there trying to understand what I am trying to do, and that's all that matters to me. And raha sawal, you know, public forums pe aake discuss karne ka, I'm just praying for better times, so that we can actually collectively, you know, have healthy discussions, and yet at the same time agree to disagree, and yet sit and have a nice wholesome meal and pat each other's backs and walk our own respective paths.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have interesting films coming up as well.
Yes.
You have one, of course, the story that's based on Ruskin Bond's book. That's an interesting story. That's going to be. Then you have one with Rashi.
Yes.
So a little on what you can tell me about the ones, because I think your fans would like to know.
Yeah. So I have just started filming. I'm in the middle of shoot as we speak. I'm on a 2-day break promoting 12th Fail. Doing a film called Talaakhon Mein Ek with Rashi Khanna. That's there. The Ruskin Bond film will be shot next year. We are still working on it. Niranjana Iyengar is directing it. You know, he's a veteran in the world of cinema. He's given us some of the best films of our times, especially my childhood. And I have Sector 36 with Dinesh Vijan.
Of course.
Which is also coming out next year. I have Blackout with Geo Studios coming out again next year. And the most immediate film that's coming out is 12th Fail. And it's in cinemas, so I'm really, really excited. My first major outing in cinemas as a so-called solo hero. Though there is zero element of heroism in this film. I'm sure you must have gauged that by watching the trailer itself. So really excited. good stories. I'm really confident of these stories, and I'm also pretty much confident that they will find their people.
No, I'm sure they are. I like you said solo hero, and I know what you meant by that, right? I
Very,
understand why
very
you
kind
said that, but I know a lot of people say, "Kab karenge aap wo ek," you know,
Solo
that
hero,
whatever. But there is also that, right? कि जो actor इतने actors के बीच में multi-starrer films में या otherwise where you're playing very securely a part that is important, yet a part that may belong to a lot of women in the film. उन बहुत लोग ऐसे नहीं हैं in this industry, and I think Vikrant Massey is among them.
Thank you, Rudrani. You know, these
But it's
words
true.
are so reassuring.
It's true. कौन सा male actor who, very few male actors who've had credibility, and you definitely have some, are okay with playing a part that is not throughout the film but is impactful and is okay for the women to have center stage.
That's the way I see.
And a lot of them appreciate you for that, whether it's Tapsi, whether it's a lot of people.
They're really kind of you. You know, your words are really reassuring because आम तौर पे आप कहीं ना कहीं आप खुद नहीं जानते कि क्या आपकी बात लोगों तक पहुंच रही है या नहीं पहुंच रही है. And when a senior journalist like you, who's we know each other for like almost 8 years now, 7-8 years now, and besides mutual admiration, I think it's very reassuring to hear it from someone like you because, as I said, आपको idea नहीं होता कि क्या जो आप कर रहे हो वो लोगों तक जा भी रहा है या नहीं जा रहा है. And in the age of instant gratification and PR activities, you really have no idea because most days are clouded.
बिल्कुल.
It's a perception-driven industry, and I am horrible at creating a perception. I'm still finding my own way. Also because time नहीं मिलता है because फिल्में ही बना रहे होते हैं पूरे time.
तो कब जाके करें?
कब जाके
कब पार्टी अटेंड करें? कब awards collect करें?
It's great. It's great. But yeah, I mean, thank you. And with regards to being a part of women-oriented stories, I think women hold center stage. In my life, at least, women have held the most robust positions in my life. Whether it's my mother, my maternal or paternal grandmothers, my wife today, and it's just that one little way that I can contribute and probably, as I said, shattering the notions or probably contribute in important stories that are women-centric because somebody has to.
Somebody has to. Thank you.
Somebody has to. I'm sure if I don't do it, somebody else would, but I would not let that opportunity go away because, change is something that I very firmly believe in, and I think times are changing, things are changing. Though it's a little slow, but no complaints. At least we're walking towards that direction, 100%. Right?
100%. Spoke like a true hero. That's how a hero sounds like. I'm just saying it. I have to say it there.
Thank you.
But you mentioned Sheetal, of course. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very, very cute post. And very, very happy for you. We were just cracking that joke. हर तरफ से मिल रही होगी advices ना. People who done it definitely come and say.
Unsolicited advice तो बहुत मिलती है.
Parenthood पे मिल रही है unsolicited.
बहुत. But the kind of books Sheetal and I are reading lately, and she also really enjoys reading is उसमें सबसे पहले यही है कि unsolicited advice तो आपको मिलेगी ही मिलेगी, which is good, which is great. That's a part of our culture also. कि पड़ोस की आंटी भी आएंगी, वो लड्डू लेके आएंगी और वो बोलेंगी कि बेटा यार ये है वो है, बताते सब हैं. Also because they care.
Sure.
But by the end of it, I'm a very firm believer in science. ठीक है, and I think, as I said, we've done really, really well as a society, as a country, and I think आज दुनिया की सारी technologies हमारे पास available हैं. And so far so good. So let's see how it all shapes up in a few months.
It'll be fine. You all will be excellent parents. You all can hear and say.
I hope so.
You will be. No pressure. You will be.
I mean, I'll try being my best version, but along the way there will be hiccups, which I think you should embrace.
100%. Absolutely. Okay. All right. On that note, some fun questions. Are you ready?
I love these sessions with you.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Vikrant, what's the biggest mistake that you made when you were in school and you never got caught?
Biggest mistake I made, I always got caught.
Okay.
I always got caught.
You always got caught?
I always got caught. And or probably I ended up surrendering myself because the guilt would really drown me up. Biggest mistake, I trespassed the women's washroom. I was in the same school. और यू नो टिपिकल इंडियन पेरेंट्स, अरे घर के बगल में सबसे पास कौन सा स्कूल है वहीं डालेंगे। तो यू नो दे हैड देयर ओन स्ट्रगल्स, इतना ध्यान नहीं दिया जाता था इन सारी चीज़ों में। सो जब हम 10th पास करके निकल रहे थे तो आई वाज लाइक कि यार एक जगह नहीं देखी हमने गर्ल्स वॉशरूम। I trespassed it. I thoroughly and rightfully so got reprimanded for it. Yeah.
This is an interesting anecdote. We learn from mistakes. We learn, yeah, but sure.
Of course.
It's fine. We learn from
I learned it the very next day. The very next day.
You learned it the very next day. Okay. Have you proposed to a girl when you were in school again? This is about school and being a student. And did you? And how do you take the rejection? I'm sure. I said rejection not because I'm sure. बस उस टाइम पे होता है. Before I get पहले ही बोल दिया reject. नहीं.
That's true.
होता है beginning में rejection ही मिलता है.
Rejection ही मिलता है शुरुआत में.
हाँ होता है. जी बिल्कुल.
तभी कुछ होता है आई थी.
जी राहुल और अंजलि.
Yeah, Rahul and that cool locket and you know that those friendship bands, you know rose days, वो सब नया शुरू हुआ था. Chocolate day, rose day, ये वो सब. So yeah, there was a student I really had you know huge crush on, and I thought कि ठीक है यार, I mean जाके एक कार्ड दे देते हैं, you know, and that's that you know pubescent age wherein you know you're breaking off your eggshells and you're like wanting to explore world or you see things in a different light. Thoroughly rejected, you know. I gave her the card and she took the card and she just threw it right there in front of me.
उसी से लर्निंग होती है. उसी के बाद आपको शीतल मिलती है.
Yeah, cut to.
So it's good. See, rejections, but you get to.
Rejection is very important. Very important.
In everything.
In everything.
Bilkul.
I think it's very important.
100%.
I think then life would be so placid, you know. And I think restart. Very important.
Restart बोला. अगर आप सच में IPS officer होते, what's the first thing that you'd like to change about the system that we are in?
See, people are a part of the system.
जी.
ठीक है. I would really, if I was an IPS officer, I would really try sort of inculcating stricter laws. Like see, laws तो policies पे होते हैं, but doing whatever I can within my capacity. अभी जैसे हम आमतौर पे अगर हम बात करते हैं कि कुछ भी होता है तो लोग कहते हैं सरकार ये कर रही है, सरकार वो कर रही है, और कोई भी सरकार हो, सरकार ये कर रही है. अब जैसे हमें ट्रेनें मिली हैं, उनकी क्या दशा करके रखते हैं हम. आज हम ऐसे देश में रहते हैं जहाँ पे 20 रुपए के मग को भी चेन से बांध के रखना पड़ता है. फाइन्स आपने लगा दिए हैं, इतने सालों से फाइन है कि आप हेलमेट पहन के चलिए, आप थूकिए मत,
बिल्कुल,
आप ये मत करिए, वो मत करिए, लेकिन आप करते हैं. लेकिन जब कोई चीज़ बिगड़ती है तो आप सीधा सरकार पे उंगली उठाते हैं. तो एक सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कहाँ है?
तो आपने ऐसे कहीं, मुझे लगा 1 दिन के लिए 2 दिन के लिए तो बनाना चाहिए. मुझे लगता है you'd be pretty convincing. like नायक. Like I almost when you said that I'm like ये ऐसे होने चाहिए, ऐसे होने चाहिए हमारा.
It literally boils my blood. Yeah. It literally boils my blood. Like I'll share.
हमारा नेता कैसा हो? विक्रंत मासी कैसा?
हमारा नेता कैसा? हमारा नेता अच्छा इंसान हो यार, बस. I'll share a personal anecdote. I mean, हाँ ठीक है, I do have my own share of flaws.
I'm not saying you're perfect, but I'm saying the good. I'm going to highlight the good parts here, Vikrant.
Thank you, Rudrani.
Always, of course.
अभी जैसे एक छोटी चीज़ें बताना चाहता हूँ मैं जहाँ से आता हूँ. अभी I live in Mud Island, ठीक है. मोस्टली तो गाड़ी से ही आता हूँ, बट कभी कभी जेटी लेके आना होता है और रनिंग शॉर्ट ऑन टाइम. नियम है कि मीटर लगा के दिया है सरकार ने, आपको मीटर से चलना चाहिए. आप मीटर से नहीं चलते, और आप खुद कहीं ना कहीं उसके भागीदार बन जाते हैं, क्योंकि आपके पास और कोई ऑप्शन है ही नहीं, जरिया नहीं है कोई और. बिल्कुल. आप जब बारिश हो रही होती है, जब कोई बूढ़ा या कोई बीमार अपने दफ्तर पे जाने के लिए लेट हो रहा होता है, आप जाते नहीं है, आप मना कर देते हैं. आप यहाँ से 2 घंटा दूर दुबई चले जाते हैं, वहाँ पे सारे नियम फॉलो करते हैं, अपने ही देश वापस आके वहीं पे गुटखा तंबाकू थूकते हैं. तो आप हर चीज़ के लिए सरकार को कहते हैं. जब आपको रिटेलिएट करना होता है, आप पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी डैमेज करते हैं. 1% लोग टैक्स भरते हैं इस देश में. स्टैटिस्टिक्स की अगर हम बात करें, सिर्फ 1% लोग टैक्स देते हैं.
तो जरिए थोड़ा सुन लीजिए इन बातों को. ओके, कंटिन्यूइंग विद इट, विल क्विकली सॉर्ट ऑफ गो देयर. ओके, one of the most annoying auditions that you had to give as someone who started in the career, in the beginning of your career?
The most annoying audition, there are so many, most.
जो लगता है कि यार ये क्या कर रहे हैं यार, लाइन में खड़े होके ये ऑडिशन देना पड़ा.
हाँ, I mean होता है, ये
sure
होता है. And, I meet so many of my colleagues who give auditions today, and मैं उनको पहले ही उनको warn कर देता हूँ कि I tell them about the red flags. See, most casting associates or casting assistants are aspiring actors.
जी बिल्कुल.
ठीक है, सारे, मतलब 97% I would say.
जी.
तो वो आपसे वो एक्टिंग करवाते हैं जो, अब एक तो उनकी पोजीशन है क्योंकि वो कास्टिंग डायरेक्टर की टीम में है, तो वो खुद एस्पायरिंग एक्टर होते हैं, वो खुद आपका पत्ता काटना चाहते हैं और वो आपको बोलते हैं कि एक्टिंग कैसे करनी, जबकि डायरेक्टर कोई ऐसा ब्रीफ नहीं देता. तो आई मीन इट इज अ वेरी वियर्ड स्पेस. इट स्टिल कंटिन्यूज टू बी दैट वे, दो बाय द ग्रेस ऑफ गॉड आई हैवंट ऑडिशनड इन द लास्ट 3-4 years. Up until 3-4 years I used to audition. But it still remains the same way. But that's how it is. तो मैं अपने दोस्तों को बोल देता हूँ कि भैया वो जो कास्टिंग एसोसिएट होगा ना, वो खुद एस्पायरिंग एक्टर होगा, तू हटेगा ना वो तेरी जगह ले लेगा, तो जो डायरेक्टर बोल रहा है वो करना.
बिल्कुल. So that is actually a very annoying experience.
That's a very annoying experience. I
वो
mean,
पता ही है इतनी मेहनत करो मिलेगा तो क्या फायदा फिर, मिलेगी भी सदा. I would feel like there is no chance only. एक try तो किया ना सही वाला.
And I also feel that as a creative individual, you should get that one opportunity. And some of the best people I have worked with, I've been very fortunate. Like Vinod Chopra sir.
Yeah.
Vinod Chopra sir, he's been making movies for 45 years, even before I was born.
Yeah.
But he will always give me that first take. He will give me that freedom to go out there and do your first take. If it is way off the mark, he'll come in with his kid gloves and he'll sort of maneuver things around the way it should be. Yeah. But I always get my first take, and everybody should get their first take.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to end it by these two questions. Who do you think you share the best on-screen chemistry with till date, and an actor that you really hope that you get to explore that side with again?
On-screen chemistry as an actor?
Yeah.
On-screen chemistry as an actor, I think I have a great chemistry with Pankaj Tripathi also, because he's a very dear friend.
Sure.
I think I had a great time working with Sania Malhotra for Love Hostel, and I think I would love to work with her again. And yeah, I think I said it.
Okay. In your wish list, who do you think
wish list? There are so many.
Someone that you really like to explore, that maybe romantically, on screen, that chemistry.
Yeah, I mean there are so many. I mean it'll be unfair to just name one. I think.
Name a few. At the top of your head, I think the first thing that comes to your mind.
Like I would love to work with Ranveer Kapoor. I would love to work with Alia.
Yeah.
I would love to work with Sania again, as I said. I would love to work with Amir Khan. I would love to work with him.
Putting that out in the universe for you.
I've been putting it out for the longest time, and I think it is going to materialize soon. Hopefully.
Ooh, with Mr. Amika?
Oh, no, not that way. But all of them, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
why not?
I hope so.
I love spending time with her. I wish I had more time with her.
But no, we'll do something again soon. But like I've said, I am so proud of who you are and the continuous effort you do in trying to contribute to Indian cinema. Thank you, Vikrant, and all the very best for 12th Fail.
Thank you so much, Rajrani.
Thank you
for all your kind words, for all the reassurance. It really means a lot.
Lots of love.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you.